Chizzy Whizz. All the kids love Chizzy Whizz. Where Chizzy came from no one knew. He just turned up from out the blue. Jake was glad to have someone to help out on the farm, and let him sleep in an old rail coach down by the disused barn. Chizzy worked in his spare time, doing up the place, which now looked clean and tidy, with the outside fresh with paint. He took care of any creatures found lost or not too well, and sometimes had a badger resting in his coach as well. His special friend was Freddy, a field mouse he had found, with goats and donkeys always grazing in the fields around. When children came out to the farm, they liked to stroke the animals, and later, sitting drinking tea, Chizzy told them tales of things he'd seen. The Singing Frog. Now summer days were here at last. Chizzy felt he'd like to ramble, so putting rucksack on his back, with tent and food inside, and Freddy Mouse upon his hat, he stepped out with good stride. Passing into pretty woods, they were pleased to see squirrels on the tops of trees, chattering with the leaves, while further on a few deer turned and ran in their direction, to disappear within the ferns that grew thick by the leafy turns. On entering a grassy glade, they were surprised to see a rather large frog singing underneath a chestnut tree. Bella, bella musica, what a trying day. Bella, bella musica, I have lost my way. On catching sight of our two friends, he gave a massive leap, and somersaulting several times, landed at their feet. Excuse me, my name is Giorgio, and I'm heading for the festival if I could, but I can't seem to find my way out of this flipping wood. Freddy laughed and Chizzy said, "No need to make a fuss. We know which way you have to go. We're heading in that direction, so continuing with us would be a good suggestion." Giorgio sang out a happy song, while Freddy waved his tail in time, as Chizzy twirled a stick he'd found somewhere along the way, conducting pom pom pom. Bella, bella musica, what a lovely day. Bella, bella musica, I am on my way. Bella, bella musica, what a lovely day. Bella, bella musica, I am on my way. As all three stepped with happy strides out of the greeny wood, a valley spread across the view, and caravans began to show, while music from a gypsy camp could soon be heard below. Some Spanish gypsy cats came out to greet them on the track, and ask them in to stay the night, so they could rest inside a caravan. The big red sun dropped out of sight, and the campfires glowed a lot, while our friends sat on the steps outside, eating from the pot. With the sounds of castanets and guitars ringing in the air, the jumps and swirls of the gypsy cats amazed them sitting there, till, growing tired, they crept inside to rest their sleepy heads upon the snow-white pillows that lay upon the beds. King Neptune. One day while walking by the sea, Chizzy stopped and stared. He saw King Neptune in the waves, who beckoned him to come and play. So Chizzy, taking off his boots, filled them up with pebbles, then hanging them around his neck, jumped out into the waves. Whee! Splash! Down he went, under the watery sea, making glub glub noises as he passed the starfishy, till landing on his bottom in a very ungracious way, while Neptune, thinking this was fun, laughed out, ha ha hey. Glub 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 glub, under the sea we go. Glub 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 glub, under the sea we go. Under the sea we go. Then pulling Chizzy from the sand and up into his chariot, they jerked and bobbed along the way towards the palace cavern. Once inside the palace, he sat down with his host to have some lunch of anemones and cucumber on toast, brought to them on golden plates, gracefully floated down by seahorses that circled round, but never made a sound. Later they played Ludo, snakes and ladders and ping-pong, and just before they had to go, the king flipped up a super wink that finally won the show. Then from a chest of glittering gems, the king gave him a magic pearl, which when you held it to the light, showed other things as well. Chizzy thanked King Neptune, and said he'd have to go, then tipped the pebbles from his boots, which made him float up high, suddenly to pop out from the water to the sky. Then walking happily in the sun along the promenade, he held his pearl up to the light, watched with some amusement from the people he passed by. Hello, ghosties. Chizzy, Whizz and Freddie Mouse, in a motor car they'd bought, were driving home from a holiday when it rumbled to a halt. As it was dark and they were tired and far away from home, they had to find somewhere to sleep and rest their weary bones. Across the road, a big old house looked empty from outside. They didn't know that in this place some ghosties liked to hide. Chizzy gave the door a push, which opened with a twang, and when they stepped inside the hall, a ghostie closed it with a bang. Freddie found some candles, and lighting 2 of them, they crept along the dim-lit hall and up some creaky stairs, followed by 3 ghosties making silly poses by pulling funny faces and wiggling their noses. While ghosties flew around the room looking like flickering light, Chizzy noticed 2 old beds in a bedroom to the right. Freddie leant his umbrella up against the bed, when a ghostie zoomed right down and picked it up instead, floating this around the room just above his head. This made Freddie's whiskers quiver when he saw it fall. It must have been a draught, he thought, blowing from the hall. Then they settled in their beds, blowing out the candles, when ghosties started dancing round, shaking things about them. Now it was dark, our friends could see the ghosties glowing white, flying round the ceiling and hovering near the light. The frightened two sprang from their beds and rushed out of the room, down the stairs and along the hall, followed by a roar, to burst into the moonlit night from out the open door. Chased along by ghosties, sliding down the banister rail, who then stood by the open door, laughing out aloud, as Chizzy gave the car a shake and a great big kick, which made it start up straight away, and they sped off real quick. Chizzy Whizz, Chizzy Whizz, all the kids love Chizzy Whizz, Chizzy Whizz, Chizzy Whizz, all the kids love Chizzy Whizz. He'll jump right out of a hole in the road, or fly on a cloud past the end of your nose, then do a cartwheel over a cow, and land up with his head in a pail. Chizzy Whizz, Chizzy